Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Stephanienadia. If this is your first time coming across my channel, we're going to be doing a very nosy video. We're going to be doing how much I earn as an international student living in the UK. So I'm just going to give you guys exact figures. We're not doing rounding. We're giving exact figures of how much I make in a month, how much I made in a year, and how much my company pays me hourly, what kind of job I was doing, all that jazz. I'm doing this video not to brag, but to give the people that are planning to move to the UK to study or have plans of coming to study their masters in the UK an idea or an estimate of how much they should be looking at earning, have an idea when they're budgeting for their move to the UK to study, etc., stuff like that. So yeah, if you're nosy or you're interested in the numbers, keep watching. Alright guys, so before we get into the main reason why you're here, I wanted to quickly tell you about trip.com. If this is not your first time on my channel, you've heard me talk about trip.com before. Trip.com is a transportation app. It makes planning of your trip so much fun and more affordable, and who doesn't like affordable? Trip.com partnered with me to tell you about some discounts on their app right now. And before I get into that, I feel like I want to mention to you guys some really good things worth mentioning about the app. First and foremost, you can download e-tickets from the app. One thing, I'm going to be on a trip is late to the train station. Being able to download your e-ticket to travel with takes away the hurdle of forming a long queue in the train station for your ticket before you actually get on your train. I don't mind paying for the train I'm using, but why do I have to pay for booking fees for a train ticket I'm already paying for? Make it make sense, okay? Trip.com took away that hurdle, so you don't have to pay for booking fees when you actually book a train ticket. You can save up to 95% off your train ticket vouchers when you use Split Save. Did you get up to 95%? That's almost 100. In my ears, that's 100. Girl math, that's 100. So the two discounts they wanted me to let you guys know about is, the first one is UK Extra 5. That gives you 5% off all UK train ticket vouchers, which is super good because any type of discount we can get, we're grabbing, okay? So the second discount is you can use the code SPECIAL20. I'll put that on the screen to get 20% off all UK rail cards. 20% off. There's nothing better. And don't worry, I'm going to put screen recordings here of how to apply these codes on the app, and I'm also going to have the link to download the app in the description box, or you can just go to the App Store or Play Store to download trip.com to make planning your trips fun and affordable. Let's get into the video. Alright, so as I mentioned earlier, the main reason why I decided to do this video is not actually to just share my personal life or just share how much I make with the internet, but I would have really loved if when I was planning to come to the UK, there was a video like that on the internet to just give me an idea of how much I should be looking at earning. Really? I would have really loved if when I was planning to move to the UK, there was a video like this on YouTube that could give me like an estimate to know how much I'll be earning weekly, monthly, to just budget my life and budget the move, to see what I can take on, what I cannot. So yeah, that's why I'm doing this video. So I requested my pay slips from my company from when I started working till when I ended work as a part-time worker. So if you don't know, or you already know, if you don't watch my vlogs, you don't already know, but I've graduated as an international student. I'm a whole graduate now, a degree holder, but then it makes it more easier for me to do this because I'm past that stage, so you can't actually accurately guess how much I'm making now, etc. If you can't, that's your own problem. But yeah, basically that's why I feel comfortable doing it now. I studied international business in York St. John University. I get so many questions about this, and so yeah, that's the school I went to. I did MSc International Business. My fees was 13,000 something, 500. I'll put the actual amount on the screen, and so that was my fees. I did my research and chose a school that the fees was reasonable for me and the course I wanted to do. And with the cost of living in the UK, we need to talk about that. Cost of living since I moved to the UK till now has gone up a little bit. The minimum wage has also gone up. I also wanted to mention that as an international student, I can only work 20 hours. So when I first joined my company, my hourly wage was £10.50. Yes, £10.50. But after like 3 months, the government increased the minimum wage. So my company increased it to £11.45 or so. I can't exactly remember, but when I do check my bank statements, we'll obviously get into that. My sole salary came from my company, and they paid me on the 21st of every month to my HSB bank account, which is how they typically would pay it. Some jobs will pay you weekly, others will pay you every 2 weeks, but my company paid me monthly, which in a way was a blessing and a curse. Sometimes it helped you to save better, but then you have so many expenses piling up that when the money comes, it's already done. But yeah, that is just by the way. In a month, the kind of expenses I would have would typically be my rent, most importantly, and groceries. My rent and my accommodation was all bills included, so I didn't have to set money aside for bills, which was very good. So I paid rent and bills all in one, and then my utilities, my transportation. I used to walk to my university and to work because I lived very close to my workplace for the last 8 months of my job, or so I didn't need to save money for transportation. But the first few months, that's 3 months into my job, I was saving money for transportation because I lived further away from the job and my school. So I wouldn't say I spent much on transportation. What I did spend a lot of my salary on was rent. But yeah, that's basically what my expenses looked like. Lucky for me, before I moved to the UK, I managed to bring about 3 months advance on my rent because I was living in a student accommodation and they required that you pay 3 months before you actually move in. So for the first 3 months, I didn't have to worry about rent, which was really good because it took a couple of months after I moved to the UK to find a job. I moved in February, found a job in March, and then started working in April. So for the first 3 months, I was jobless. So I was just living on the money I brought to the UK and not a salary. On the topic of finding a part-time job, I feel like it's something I should touch on. I got help from a friend that lived, she came in September, whereas I came in January for my master's. So she started hers in September. So she got a job with the company and mentioned the company to me and helped me apply to the same job, which doesn't work out every time, but for that particular time it worked, and I actually got a job as a support worker where my friend was already working. And she didn't even mention in it that she referred me or anything. I just got the job in my city. We lived in 2 different cities, so I applied to that job and got it. We applied to it on Indeed. Lucky for me, unlike now, it didn't need me to have a UK manual driver's license. And yeah, I managed to get myself an interview. So I'd say if you move to the UK, a good app to find jobs is Indeed. Indeed is a very good place to find jobs. To find shifts, I'd say Indeed Flex. And I've explained already what Indeed and Indeed Flex is in this video that has all the apps you need when you move to the UK, so you can check that out. The job was so good to me. I feel like it's worth mentioning that the job was very good to me because I had friends working the same type of job, but it wasn't as easy as I got it. So I'm very grateful to God for that, because I prayed in Ghana that I get good co-workers, good roommates, good just people around me, because a big move like that, you need to have a good community around you, else your mental health is gonna go to it. Okay, so that was one thing I never played about praying about. The next topic I want to mention is balancing work and studies. It wasn't the easiest thing, but I feel like because of how my university set up my modules, it was super free-flowing and easy for me. So before I got into my school, classes were on Mondays to Fridays, but I think the school analyzed it and saw that some people were working to pay their accommodation, working to pay their fees, so it made sense to make up more days for us to be able to work, even though we can only work 20 hours. So my school got the great idea to put classes on Fridays and Saturdays, but by putting classes on Fridays and Saturday means the day would be very packed, so we can have Monday to Thursday and Sunday free if you want to work. So Fridays and Saturdays I had 2 4-hour classes each day. So when I say 4, I mean 4 hours where you're sitting down and looking at someone talk and lecture to you for 4 hours. Then you go on a 1-hour break or 1.5-hour break, and you come back and continue for another 4 hours. So yes, it was a blessing sometimes, and other times it was a pain in the ass, but it helped us have so many free days, because when you do get a part-time job, part-time jobs can be flexible, but sometimes a little bit hard for your days to match with the job you actually got. That made it quite easy for us to work. I know it's not the same in every school. It's quite hot in the UK right now. Okay, I don't know why I'm even wearing this. No, I'll just put it back on. I think it's very important to also mention that the UK, they knew what they were doing when they only allowed students to work 20 hours. It was a curse, but it also helped a lot to not be burnt out, because even working just 20 hours plus school, sometimes I felt so drained and tired. I can't imagine working 40 hours. Now to the reason why you're here. I'm going to pull up my pay slips now. We're going to start from the first month I got my job. The first time I received a salary was in April. I did start working in April, as I mentioned, and I actually got the job in March, but they have to do a lot of checks. I had to request for a police report from Ghana, which cost an arm and a leg. I had to do a DBS check thing. If you're working with vulnerable individuals, you're going to need to do a DBS check. You're going to need to verify your address, verify your BRP, your national insurance. You're going to need to get your share code. A lot of hustle, so it took about a month before I could actually start working after I got my job. For the first month when I got my job, my salary was £430. Okay, they pay from a 10th to a 10th. That's how the payment process goes. So the first month I started working, I made £430. That's for working for just half the month. And then the next month, which is May, I made £946. So that was really good. I was super happy. And then for my third month of working, that's June. In June, I made £1,123. When I made this, you couldn't tell me anything. With this one, we did a training course. The company, when they offer you training on the job, you get paid for the days you showed up for the training. They train you on a lot of things as a support worker. I had to show up for those trainings, and in showing up for those trainings, I got paid the whole day, like as if I went to work. So don't get too excited. Okay, so the next month after that, I got £934.48, which was good. The next month after July, I got £1,000 and £1,013.44. This was for the month of August. Okay, so for the month of September, I made, hey, why did I make such a small amount on this month? I made £470. I don't know why. I probably took some off days or maybe traveled or something. I must have been so sad on this day. Okay, so for the month of October, I made £562. Just know that I was getting charged pension and national insurance as well. And then for the month of November, I got paid £1,054.60. And then for the month of December, I got paid £968.32. So I think on average it's all around the 900 mark. And on those months where it was low, it's probably because maybe I had some school things happening and I had to cancel shifts. See, the sun is playing in my face so bad, so I've decided to actually close this blind thing. So for January 2024, my salary was £878.08, and then for February 2024, my salary was £923.20. My master started in February, ended in February. So over the course of time for my master's, this is how much I made as a part-time worker. After this point, I was done with my master's and I got the go ahead to work full-time. And I also wanted to explain that on those months where it was a little bit higher, I think when school is on break, we had the permission to work full-time. That's over 20 hours. That's, you could go as high as 40 hours. And so I think there was a time where we went on a summer break and we went on a Christmas break. I think on those times I picked up extra shifts that made my salary go high. Yeah, this is how much I made as an international student in a year. So then I hope this video was helpful. I hope it helps you plan your move, plan your study abroad. And yeah, I'll see you guys in my next video. Make sure to subscribe, like the video, leave me a comment on any questions you might have and I'll answer them. Bye.